Hello, friends! This is Sheriff Labrador and my faithful partner, Sheriff Dobie. Today we entered Roblox to play the game Escape the Sonic Mutant Prison, also known as Sonic Tapes. This mode is full of fast-paced adventures and unexpected twists, as we have to escape from a dark dungeon where the evil mutant Sonic is hunting anyone who dares to intrude on his territory.
Hi guys! Yes, this is going to be a real survival race. In this mode, we need to use our skills to avoid traps and run away from the mutant. They say Sonic has turned evil and his speed is just astonishing. But we're not afraid, right, Labrador?
Exactly, Dobie. I heard there are some secret paths in the prison that can help us outsmart Sonic and find the exit. We need to be careful not to fall into his traps. I suggest we first find a map and understand where all the exits are located. Are you ready?
Ready as ever. First, let's see what's around the corner. Oh, look, there are some strange writings on the walls. These seem to be notes from previous prisoners. Maybe they'll give us a clue on how to escape? Don't forget, guys, to like and comment if you enjoy our content.
Great idea, Dobie. Every like helps us on our adventure. So if you want to see more of our adventures, be sure to support us. Now let's check out these notes and try to find a way to freedom before Sonic notices us.
Yes! And remember, if we escape, we can try out more modes in Roblox. Write in the comments what you'd like to see next. Let's start our mission and get out of this prison.
Do you remember, Dobie, how we ended up in Sonic's world a week ago? It was completely unexpected. We were just walking in the park, and suddenly we were swept into this whirlwind. I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me when I saw everything around us becoming brighter and faster. We landed in some magical forest, where instead of trees, there were huge mushrooms and bright flowers. I had never seen anything like it.
Yes, it felt like a dream. As soon as we landed, we heard something zooming past us at high speed. I thought it was just a myth. And then, could it be Sonic himself? He was so fast and cheerful. When he stopped and looked around, I was in total awe. He looked just like he does in the cartoons, only even more vibrant and alive.
I remember how you started running towards him while I just stood there trying to grasp what was happening. Sonic noticed us and laughing asked if we wanted to ride with him. We didn't even have time to respond, and he was already off. You should have seen how fast you ran after him. I just couldn't resist. It was so thrilling.
Yes, I remember how we raced after him like real super dogs. The wind was whistling in our ears, and everything around us turned into a smeared rainbow. I didn't even realize we had dashed through an entire level filled with rings and enemies. When we finally stopped, Sonic explained that he had a problem. Dr. Eggman was up to something evil again.
When he told us about his plans, I realized this was not just an adventure, it was a real mission. Sonic said Eggman wanted to take over the world and create robots to serve him. We couldn't just walk away knowing that. We decided we had to help him.
And then Tails joined us. He was so cute and friendly. At first, I was a little nervous, but he quickly won our trust. When he showed us his gadgets, I was amazed. He had a plane that he built himself. We even tried to help him with some of the mechanisms. Honestly, I thought I wouldn't be able to, but you handled the part so confidently.
I was so intrigued. I didn't even know that mechanics could be so exciting. Tails explained how his devices worked, and I tried to remember every word. And when we finished, he offered to take us for a ride in his plane to collect the rings needed to stop Eggman. It felt like a dream.
Exactly. When we took off, I felt like we were on a real adventure. From up high, everything looked different. I didn't even notice how we flew past several levels. Then, when we landed, our first mission began. Sonic said we needed to collect rings to gain strength to fight the enemies. I remember how we started running.
We ran so fast. I tried to catch the rings, and it was incredible. Once we started, I just couldn't stop. The rings sparkled and shimmered, and I forgot everything except our goal. I felt so energized. But then, when we encountered Eggman's first robot, I was a little scared.
The robot looked pretty threatening, but you didn't panic. You charged ahead and distracted it while I collected rings around. That was true teamwork. We both felt like we could handle any enemy. After we got past it, Sonic praised us, and I felt so proud.
Then we faced another enemy, and it wasn't as easy as before. But when we combined our strengths, everything became easier. We worked as one team, and I thought about how we always support each other. In the end, We even beat the robot in a race, and that was completely unexpected.
When we finally met Eggman face to face, it was a real test. I remember how he laughed and said we couldn't stop him, but we didn't give up. We used everything we learned from Sonic and Tails and really managed to defeat him. We were true super dogs.
And after that battle, Sonic awarded us medals for bravery. That was an incredible moment. We became part of their team, and I felt like we had done something really important. As we returned home, I realized that this week had been one of the best in our lives.
I still can't believe we were in Sonic's world. It was a full adventure, full of bright moments and friendship. I hope one day we can return and meet them again.
You know, Dobie, I still can't believe what happened recently. We were just walking in our favorite park, enjoying the fresh air and sunny days, when suddenly strange glowing objects appeared above us. I thought it was just some kind of celestial phenomenon, but when they started to fall, I realized it was something serious.
I remember that day like it was yesterday. We were playing with a ball when suddenly there was a loud crack, and the sky filled with these strange flying things. When one of them landed, I felt my heart start to race. It felt like the beginning of a real battle.
Exactly! And when we got closer to see what was happening, aliens emerged from those ships. I didn't even know that was possible. They were cats, but not ordinary ones. They had shiny fur, eyes glowing like lanterns, and they looked very menacing. We had never encountered anything like that in our world.
Yes, those cats looked like they were here to conquer our world. I remembered how you said, we need to protect our park. You've always been so brave. We decided we couldn't just stand by and watch them take over our home. Our mission was to protect each other and all the dogs.
It was our duty. We gathered all our dog friends and started discussing a plan. I remember how we held a meeting under the old oak tree. The dogs were scared, but everyone understood we needed to join forces. I suggested we split into groups. One group would distract the cats, while the other would defend our territory.
Then I stood up and said, we won't let these aliens take our home. Everyone began barking in agreement, and I felt like we were a team. When we approached the cats, they started hissing and threatening, but we weren't scared. We showed them that we could defend our world.
I remember how we started fighting them. It was a real battle. We used our skills. You darted around them with your speed, while I distracted them with my growling. When one of the cats tried to get closer, you suddenly charged at him, and it really took him by surprise.
That was amazing. We worked as a team. I remember one of the cats wanted to attack you, but I jumped in between you and let out a powerful bark that made him back off. Our friendship was stronger than any alien weapon.
Dobie, look at that massive robot. It's huge and packed with cannons that shoot from its arms. If we don't take them out, it will definitely crush us. But we have a chance. I just found the Foodzuka. It's a very powerful weapon. Are you ready for battle? We need to work as a team. Otherwise, we won't be able to stop it.
Ready as ever, Labrador. This robot doesn't even know who it's messing with. First, let's focus on its cannons. If we can destroy them, we'll have a chance to get closer and deal with the boss itself. I'll cover you while you aim for the left cannon, and then I'll go for the right one. We can do this.
Great plan, Dobie. I'm aiming for the left cannon and firing. Yes, one cannon down. Now it's your turn. We need to be quick before it starts shooting again. I'll distract it with my growl while you rush to the right cannon and hit it with all your might.
I'm already running to the right cannon, Labrador. This robot thinks it can stop us, but we'll show it who's in charge. I'm going to deliver a powerful hit. On the count of 3, get ready. 1, 2, 3, hit! Yes, that was awesome, but its armor is still tough. We need to keep attacking.
And just when we started to think all was lost, other dogs from the neighboring areas joined us. There were so many of them. They all came to help us defend our home. You and I stood in the front row, and I was so proud to have such loyal friends. This became a true battle for freedom.
Seeing that we were united, the cats began to retreat. They didn't expect dogs to fight like this. When one of them tried to shoot from his strange device, I dodged to the side and took him from behind. That was my bravest moment. We laughed and celebrated, knowing we had managed to repel their attack.
In the end, when the cats realized they couldn't defeat us, they started to leave. I remember how one of them, the biggest one, yelled, "We will be back!" And I was sure we would be ready for them next time. We protected our world, and that was the most important thing.
After the cats left, all the dogs gathered together, and we began to celebrate our victory. We not only protected our home, but we also became closer to each other. I felt that our friendship had strengthened. Everyone was ready to stand up for each other if it was needed again.
Hi guys, we're back in Roblox, and today we're playing the Escape from Minions prison mode. Ready for an adventure?
Hi, friends. Yes, this is going to be fun. Imagine a prison full of minions. Who would have thought that these little yellow creatures could be so dangerous?
So, our first step is to get out of the cell. Look, we need to crawl through the ventilation duct. Oh, it's like in prison escape movies.
Exactly. Go ahead, Labrador. You go first. You have more experience with this stuff. Aha.
All right, here we go. Oh, it's pretty tight. Hey, Dobby, remember the last time you got stuck in the vents?
Ha! Right. That was in the Escape from the Asylum mode. Hopefully, these vents are wider. And here's the first boss, a huge minion with a laser gun.
Wow, he's a serious guy. Okay, I have a plan. We need to jump on the platforms, dodge his shots, and attack him with our bazooka.
Wow, and I thought minions only love bananas. Okay, jump, shoot. Oh no, he's aiming at me.
Dobby, take care of yourself. Shoot at his legs to slow him down. Yes, like that. We've almost defeated him.
Hooray! The first boss is down. But listen, what's that sound? It looks like we have trouble ahead. Another boss, Mega Minion with a shield and hammer.
Right, he looks tough. We need to be smart. Let's try to trick him and hit his weak spots when he lifts the shield.
Good plan, attack! Oh, look, he's swinging his hammer like Thor. Ha! I hope he's not as accurate.
Come on, Dobby, dodge. He's vulnerable when he attacks. Shoot him. Yes, we did it. He's defeated.
Whew, that was intense. But we made it. Labrador, do you remember how we used to watch Despicable Me as kids? Minions were always funny, and now they're real bosses.
You watched Despicable Me? The Minions are the coolest characters ever.
These little yellow guys are always at the center of all the funny situations. Have you guys watched this movie?
Yeah, I think everyone has. So, let's tell them what's going on here. We're in the secret base of the Minions. To escape, we need to complete a tough parkour and defeat 2 minion bosses. Sounds like a real challenge.
Wow, there are so many rusty pipes and platforms, they don't look very sturdy. Labrador, be careful not to fall.
I'm trying. Oh, I always said minions are jack of all trades, but their work isn't always perfect. Aha! Here's the first challenge. We need to jump over these moving platforms.
They probably made this to slow us down. By the way, remember how in Despicable Me, the minions were always repairing and inventing things? Looks like they've been busy here too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, look, up ahead is our first boss, a huge minion with a laser gun. This is going to be tough.
A huge minion? Maybe he just ate too many bananas? Haha. All right, let's focus. To defeat him, we need to dodge his shots and attack back.
Hey, Dobby, remember how we met the minions a week ago? That was unforgettable.
Oh yeah, how could I forget? Did you ever expect our ice cream trip to end up with meeting those yellow guys?
Not at all. We had just left the store when we saw one minion chasing another who was rolling a giant ice cream ball down the street. They're always so funny.
Haha, exactly. And remember how they invited us to help with their latest experiment? They messed up the instructions so much that we ended up exploding a bunch of popcorn in their lab.
Oh, it was a real popcorn rain. Good thing we managed to escape before Gru showed up. He wouldn't have been pleased.
Yeah, but the minions were thrilled. They even gave us a tour of their secret base. Remember how one of them tried to show us his new gadget, the banana blaster?
Oh yeah, and how the blaster, instead of shooting bananas, started spraying banana puree all over the place. We were in a sticky nightmare.
Uh-huh. Good thing we got cleaned up when they took us to the banana bath. I still can't believe they have a separate room just for washing bananas.
Minions and their quirks. But then they showed us their new project, a giant cleaning robot. That was something.
Yes, but the minions forgot to set it up properly, and it started chasing us with a giant mop. Good thing we managed to turn it off before it turned everything into chaos.
But the funniest part was when we decided to race on their little yellow cars. These cars look so cute, but driving them is a real challenge.
Haha, yeah, especially when they decided to turn on all the obstacles and traps. I still can't believe we made it through the ring of fire unscathed.
That was a real adventure. And finally, remember how they surprised us with a huge cake?
Oh yeah, except instead of cream, it had a whole kilogram of banana puree, but it was fun and delicious.
Dobby, remember how it all started? The minions showed up at our office with rocket blueprints, promising that with their help, we could travel across the galaxy. When we were tasked with building a rocket for galactic exploration, We didn't expect this project to become one of the toughest challenges in our careers. This whole story began with the arrival of the minions who offered their assistance. Who would have thought that these funny yellow creatures would turn out to be such tricksters?
Of course, Labrador. They seemed so friendly and enthusiastic. Their plans looked incredibly detailed, and we decided it was worth a try.
We started building the rocket at our police station. The minions took on most of the work since they were real experts in mechanics and electronics. Everything went smoothly, and the rocket was ready for launch in record time.
The launch day arrived, and we all gathered at the launch pad. The minions were so excited that we didn't suspect any deception. We launched the rocket and headed into space.
The first few days of the flight were amazing. We saw incredible planets and stars. But then, as we approached the first planet, the minions suddenly changed course and locked us in a compartment.
We were shocked. It turned out the minions planned to steal all the planets and resources to create their own empire. They deceived us to use our knowledge and resources for their purposes.
We had to come up with a plan quickly. We knew we had to stop them and regain control of the rocket. We began looking for weaknesses in the security system that could help us escape.
After several hours of intense work, we managed to hack the system and disable the locks. We broke out of the compartment and confronted the minions in the control center.
It was an epic battle. The minions used all their tricks and gadgets to stop us. But Dobie and I were stronger and smarter. We managed to take control of the rocket and set course back to Earth.
When we returned to Earth, we reported the minions' betrayal and their plans to steal planets. The minions were arrested and sent to prison for further investigation.
This experience taught us to be cautious and not trust everyone blindly. But most importantly, we were able to protect our world and our galaxy from danger once again.
Yes, Labrador, we did an important job. Now we know that even in need to stay vigilant, and who knows what other adventures await us in the future.
Dobie, remember how it all started? We were called to the city because the minions were causing chaos everywhere. When Dobie and I were tasked with investigating the criminal activities of the minions, we never expected that we would eventually meet their leader, Gru. Our goal was not only to stop the minions, but also to try to understand what drives Gru to behave the way he does.
Of course, Labrador. They were stealing, creating havoc, and disturbing everyone's peace. We quickly realized that someone more cunning and smart was behind all this.
We began our investigation and soon discovered Gru, who was the king of all minions. We were warned that he was very dangerous, but we decided to approach this case differently.
Yes, instead of arresting him right away, we decided to try talking to him. It was important to understand why he became like this, and if it was possible to reform him.
We went to his lair, and to our surprise, Gru wasn't all that bad. He was gruff, but in his eyes we could see weariness and disappointment.
It turned out that Gru was a genius who had simply lost faith in people due to past betrayals and disappointments. The minions had become a kind of family for him, one he never had.
We started meeting with him more often, trying to show him that not all people are bad. We told him stories about our childhood, about how important it is to have real friends.
One day we invited him to a picnic. It was an ordinary day, but for Gru, it became something new and special. We played games, laughed, and just enjoyed the time together.
Gradually, Gru began to change. He became more open and kind. The minions, seeing the change in their leader, also started behaving better.
Of course, it wasn't all smooth sailing. There were moments when Gru relapsed and became the old Gru again. But we didn't give up and continued to support him.
Eventually, Gru completely changed. He even started helping us with investigations and, along with the minions, began protecting the city from criminals.
It was a long and difficult journey, but we managed to turn Gru from an evil genius into a kind and caring person. He became our friend and ally.
We proved that everyone deserves a second chance. And with friendship and support, even the most hardened villains can change.
Yes, Labrador. And now our city is safer and happier, thanks to our new friend Gru and his minions.
After that tough parkour, we have to face the boss. Yeah, Labrador, especially with those yellow walls and giant bananas trying to knock us down. Who do you think came up with these traps? Must be some super brainy minion. They probably thought regular prisons were too boring.
Oh, it looks like this is the real boss. And we only have a bazooka to take him down. Labrador, are you ready?
Of course, I'm always ready for these adventures. Let's keep shooting at him before he turns us into banana salad.
Haha, banana salad. All right, Mega Minion Boss, take this.
Watch out for his attacks. He's throwing huge banana bombs.
Whoa, these bombs are definitely not from the store. Listen, we only have a few shots left. Aim carefully.
Absolutely. Hey, Dobie, remember the last time we tried to escape from Nanny Betty? I think that was even harder.
Oh, for sure. But that's a story for another time. All right, guys. See you next time in the world of Roblox. Hello, dear friends. Today, we're going to escape from an evil dog in Roblox. It's right behind me, but it's asleep, so we're safe for now.
Hello, everyone. Ahead of us are thrilling challenges and boss battles. By the way, if you know the name of this dog, be sure to write it in the comments.
Sheriff Labrador, let's jump on his belly.
Let's do it, but we need to be ready in case he wakes up.
Don't worry about that. I think he stuffed himself and watched TV all night.
It seems we need to get to the ventilation, but there's a small parkour course. Good thing I've been practicing parkour since school.
Oh no, you broke his mom's favorite vase. It seems like he's sleeping soundly. I hope he doesn't notice the shards when he wakes up.
We'll quickly sneak through and escape.
Great, now we need to overcome this giant room.
I see some metal platforms ahead. We need to press the button.
What do you think these trials are for in this dog's house? I don't think he's the one going through them, although they would be good physical exercises, which promote health.
Wow, look, it's a zip line. I used to ride one of these when I was a kid. Maybe it's all to ensure that no one can reach him and disturb his sleep. But here we are, trying to escape from him. Why he kidnapped us is indeed strange.
Look, he has a wife and kids. Why haven't we seen them?
And on the picture on the left, his friend is depicted Talking Tom.
I have a theory that we've entered a universe of talking animals. Perhaps this is a kind of hell, because no one would like to be forced to talk, especially to say exactly what you don't want.
Exactly. And that's why he built these trials, to get as far away as possible from the fate of endless talking. Now we just need to find the others and figure out why we were kidnapped.
That's a possibility. It could be that they kidnapped us to replace them in conversations, so they can be free. Or perhaps they feed on other animals, and that gives them the ability to talk.
Or maybe they're just a little bit crazy.
This option is worth considering too. Let's focus on getting out of here and finding out what's really going on.
It looks like we need to climb into the ventilation system. This is the transition to the next location. Hopefully we'll encounter some new characters along the way.
It seems you're right. There's Talking Tom standing there.
Oops, he fell.
Get ready to run. I don't think he has good intentions.
Have you ever seen the Tom with red eyes? He looks like he's ready to flatten us like pancakes.
It feels like he's about to shoot lasers from his eyes. What if he really can do more than just talk? We'd need some interesting superpowers for detaining suspects then.
Why did he hide around the corner? Did he think he wasn't visible?
Perhaps he's a little dumb or just sleepy and not very spatially aware.
He has such funny teeth like a child's. You know, for some reason, he seems even cute to me.
Maybe the environment is starting to affect you. I hope you won't turn into one of them right now. Did all this hypnotize you or something?
I don't even know. I hope I won't get absorbed by this atmosphere. If something's wrong, let me know.
Of course. Back in the ventilation again. We already dealt with Tom. Let's see who awaits us next.
Looks like a children's room. Maybe it belongs to Ben's kid?
You guessed it. It's a girl. I wonder what her name is, and if Ben's children are facing the same fate of constant talking like he is.
While you were talking, we fell right into her paws. Why did we get teleported back? I don't think she's as mean as Tom right now.
I think so too. If she wanted to bite us, she would have already gotten out of this grid. It has huge gaps between the bars.
Oh, so we found out her name is Lily. I don't see her brother's room here. Very strange. Is there any point in keeping them so far apart? Guys, write in the comments if you have a brother or sister, and if you share a room together.
Yeah, what if something happened to her brother, and here we are just casually talking about it? Also, perhaps this is precisely why everyone has gone mad and thinks we killed him.
Dobie, you're back to inventing theories again. It's only distracting us from the main goal. I think things aren't as bad with this place as you imagine.
It seems we've entered the central ventilation system, which provides oxygen to the entire complex. We could leave a surprise here.
Let's tell the guys the story of how you and I saved the city from the animal pirates instead. This story began when rumors started circulating in the city about strange events. Animals began behaving unusually, as if under the influence of something invisible.
Many of them fell into a strange trance, and some even disappeared without a trace. Labrador and I began an investigation, and soon discovered that behind all this were animal pirates who were planning to take over our city.
Our suspicions were confirmed when we discovered that the animal pirates had struck a deal with a company from another city to help them create a device capable of controlling the minds of those around them.
These pirates were cunning and well prepared, with a clear plan, and the backing of another company made their threat even more serious. We realized that if we didn't stop them, our city would fall into their hands.
The local scientist helped us determine that their device emitted a sound at a frequency inaudible to animals, but capable of inducing hypnosis and controlling them. We realized that standard methods of fighting crime wouldn't work in this case. So, we decided to create a device capable of absorbing sounds at a frequency that regular animals couldn't hear, and that could help us locate and destroy the enemy's device.
Creating this device was challenging, but we collaborated with the scientists to overcome the task. When we finally completed it, we set out to search for the pirate device, which was hidden somewhere in the city.
We roamed all the streets and alleys listening to the surrounding sounds until we finally noticed a strange signal that our sound-absorbing device picked up.
Oh no! Looks like he woke up and saw that we escaped. We headed toward the source of the signal and discovered the pirate device hidden in the basement of one of the abandoned buildings. We quickly dealt with the pirates' guards and destroyed their device. Thanks to this, the city was saved from capture, and the residents could sleep peacefully.
Yeah, we were awarded the Order of Bravery and even featured in the news. How I love my job. And you?
I also love my job very much. Being a sheriff is very exciting. Every day we face many trials and adventures, which gives rise to more and more new stories. It seems like even a whole lifetime wouldn't be enough to tell you all of them.
Ouch! The ventilation grill collapsed under our weight, and we're tumbling down.
In real life, falling like that would hurt. Your tumbling down reminded me of how I went sledding down a snowy hill during my winter vacation. It was a lot of fun.
I also plan to fly to a snowy country for my next vacation and thoroughly enjoy the beauty of nature and the cozy atmosphere.
And in the meantime, we've reached another parkour section, but this time someone has set up trampolines for us. That's very kind of them. Without the trampolines, I don't know how we would have climbed so high.
Just a little more, and we'll reach that button. I can't wait to face the main boss of this map. I think it will be Talking Angela since we haven't seen her yet.
I think it will be Talking Ginger, because I haven't seen a female main boss yet, and we also haven't encountered Ginger yet.
What kind of nuclear reactor does he have in his complex, and why does he need it? I hope he doesn't plan to destroy all living things.
You know, Labrador, sometimes I wonder how we both ended up on this path. I wonder what led us to choose the profession of sheriff.
Yes, Dobie, that's indeed an interesting question. I remember being fascinated by stories of heroes protecting their towns and loved ones since childhood. Especially inspiring were the tales from my grandfather, who served as a sheriff in his town. How about you? How did you come to this choice?
For me, it all began when I was a teenager. I always loved helping people and felt a desire to do something meaningful. One day, I met a sheriff who came to our school to talk about his work. I was so impressed by his stories of protecting people and maintaining order that I immediately realized, this is my calling. Remember our first operation together? We didn't know each other that well back then, but even then, we felt like we could rely on each other.
Yes, it was a test of endurance and we passed it. But you know, Dobie, I think being a sheriff is not just about skills and abilities. It's also about the desire to serve your community, to be part of something greater.
Well said, Labrador. We chose this profession because we wanted to protect and assist. Every day, we reaffirm our choice by seeing how our work makes the world a bit better and safer.
So, here we are, at this moment. We've reached the door behind which the main boss of this map awaits, and we were wrong about the main boss. It's actually the giant robot, Ben.
Let's shoot him right in the teeth.
I'll try shooting at his legs. Maybe that's his weak spot and he'll fall down.
What a coward Ben is. He didn't even bother to put up a fight at the end, and just opted to make a giant combat robot.
It wouldn't surprise me if he's sitting in his chair right now, either asleep or watching TV with a mug of coffee in hand.
I hope it's not something stronger than coffee, and he's probably watching some football while we're here sweating. That's not fair.
Hooray! Congratulations to us. Leave us some congratulations in the comments. And now it's time for us to leave this crazy house of talking animals.
Hold on, but aren't we also talking animals? Maybe it's related to our abduction. They wanted us to be part of the app about talking animals too. Guys, would you play such a game?
You're back with your scary theories again. Look, our motorcycle won't start. It would be funny if it ran out of gas.
Guys, it's time for us to say goodbye. We hope you enjoyed our escape from the talking animals.
Yes, don't forget to leave comments, like, and subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. Also, check out our other videos and let us know what else you'd like to see us play.
Looks like duty calls. Off we go to another adventure.
What's happening again? I hope it's not an attack by the giant robot Ginger.
No, Angela. Goodbye.
Hello, friends. It's Sheriff Labrador here again with my tireless partner, Sheriff Dobie. Today, we've jumped into a totally crazy mode in Roblox called Shrink or Grow to complete the obby. This is going to be a real puzzle challenge. Hit the like button if you love obbies and comment below who you think will complete all the levels faster, me or Dobie.
Hey, everyone. Oh, guys, this isn't just any obby. Here, you don't just jump over obstacles, you also have to change sizes at the right time. In some sections, you need to shrink down to the size of an ant to crawl under barriers, while in others, you need to become a giant to leap over massive gaps. It seems like we're going to need all our agility and cleverness to make it through this obby.
It all starts with a small level where we learn how to change sizes. There are magic platforms that either shrink us or grow us. And right from the start, it's clear that this won't be easy. You need to time your jumps onto the platforms perfectly to get the right size and avoid falling into the abyss.
The backstory of this mode says that this obby was created by a great scientist who accidentally mixed magic potions and created a world where size doesn't matter. His lab was filled with experiments, and eventually the entire world turned into a maze with changing scales. Now we have to navigate through his creation to find a way out.
But be careful, friends. The mode is full of traps, disappearing platforms, moving blocks, and even spikes that pop up out of nowhere. And the hardest part is choosing the right size at the right time so you don't get stuck or fall. Imagine, you need to shrink to slip under a laser and then instantly grow to avoid falling from high platforms.
There are even sections where you have to switch sizes mid-air. For example, shrinking to slip through a narrow passage, then quickly growing to leap over a giant gap. It's like an acrobatic show, but with elements of magic and awesome obby challenges.
We can get help from special power-ups, speed boosts, double jumps, or temporary invisibility to get through the toughest sections. But you still have to find those power-ups, and they might be hidden in the most unexpected places, like under a platform that you can only see when you're mini-sized.
And of course, at the end of each level, there's a big final jump that you can only make if you choose the right sizes in the correct sequence. It's like a true test of speed, reaction, and logic. Guys, let us know in the comments which size you prefer, tiny or gigantic. And Dobie and I are setting off on our journey through this incredible obby. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our new adventures and escapes.
In some sections, you don't even need to grow larger. I just returned to my original size and easily got through it. Dobie, do you see this beautiful staircase we're walking on? It's painted in rainbow colors. Wow, it looks amazing.
Sheriff, look back. With each step you take, the staircase disappears. You're lucky you're moving fast enough to get through it. The best move here would be to grow bigger and start running as fast as possible, just like Sonic.
Oh, we've hit another staircase with waves. Let's grow larger here too and try to just jump over it. Guys, watch and remember these hacks. These Roblox modes really test your cleverness, and Dobie and I are super resourceful. We always find solutions to any tough challenges, right, Dobie?
That's right. Wow, this looks like a real water slide, just like in a water park, but without the water. By the way, I've often responded to calls at water parks. It's a place where anyone can easily get injured. We're not medics, of course, but we have to figure out how they got hurt. Who knows? There might be evil scientists or wizards at the water park. We're always on guard, keeping order.
Hey, have you noticed that with each level, the obby gets harder and harder? The traps activate faster, the platforms disappear quicker, and the gaps between them get wider. It's like the scientists set everything up specifically to confuse us. But we're not that easy to fool, right, Dobie?
Of course, we're real sheriffs. The key is to choose the right moments to change sizes. Labrador, it seems like something changes every time in this obby. I see some new paths that weren't there before. That means the further we go, the tougher it gets. But we're not giving up. The main thing is to keep our balance and remember to change sizes at the right time.
Dobie, did you see what happened to the town square? At first, I thought I was having vision problems or maybe I was just too tired. Imagine this. I'm walking downtown in the morning, And suddenly I see the statue in the square has grown to the size of a house. And just a little further, right across from the cafe, there's a tiny car, barely bigger than a toy. I couldn't believe my eyes. Was this really happening? Only later did I find out that it was all the work of an evil scientist. He invented a device that can enlarge or shrink anything.
Labrador, I was shocked too. When I saw that giant thing in the square, I thought it was some elaborate prank or a movie being filmed. But then, when I saw a giant mailbox fall right in the middle of the street, scaring all the passers-by, I realized something was really wrong. And the scariest part is that this scientist, Dr. Shrank, decided he could use his invention to establish a new order in the town. He enlarged everything he considered important and shrank everything else, as if he had the right to decide what the town needed and what it didn't.
Yeah, Shrank definitely got carried away with his device. He figured that if he made his invention known to the world, he could dictate terms, and the town would become his personal playground. At first, everything looked chaotic. Giant objects blocked the streets, tiny buildings got lost among huge bushes and benches, but when he enlarged the town hall tower so much that it blocked out the entire sky, that's when it became a real problem. We knew we had to do something fast, but it wasn't easy. Shrank's device was very powerful and compact. It could be anywhere.
Labrador, do you remember how we started searching for Shrank? We decided he must be hiding nearby to keep an eye on the results of his actions. We split up to search the area, and I found one of his hidden labs on the outskirts of town. It was full of all sorts of strange gadgets, and I almost stepped on one of his miniature robots that was patrolling the entrance. At first I thought it was just a toy, but then the robot started making alarm sounds, and I had to act fast to avoid causing a scene.
You did a great job, Dobie! While you were checking out the lab, I stumbled upon Shrank himself. He was busy checking the results of his latest experiment. He had shrunk the fountain in the park down to the size of a cup and was laughing like a madman. I decided to play it smart and started distracting him with conversation. I told him his invention was really impressive, but hinted that without his device, the town couldn't function normally. You should have seen his face. Shrank was beaming with pride. But as soon as I noticed that the device was on his belt, I knew this was our chance.
Labrador, you're a master at distraction. While you were talking to him, I managed to get closer and start deactivating his security systems. Those devices were set up to interfere with any attempt to get close to the main gadget. But luckily, I managed to bypass them using that miniature robot I had grabbed from his lab. And as soon as Shrank got distracted by your comment about the impact of his invention on the town, I made a dash and grabbed the device.
Yes, we defeated him there, but there was another situation related to this mode. It all started like an ordinary day. We were doing our usual patrol of the area when we suddenly noticed strange, shiny blocks appearing in the square, resembling those from computer games. I thought it was some new art installation or maybe an advertising stunt. But when I got closer and saw that the blocks looked like they were made of magical gold, I started to worry. Then we discovered that these were actual lucky blocks created by an evil wizard.
Labrador, it was incredible. At first, I thought you were joking when you said the blocks might be real. But as soon as I saw them up close, I realized they weren't just decorations. They had some kind of magical aura. As soon as we started investigating these blocks, something unexpected happened. One of them began to glow and emit strange sounds. We were lucky to be attentive. As soon as I touched one of the blocks, it opened up and a bunch of colorful sparks flew out. These sparks filled the air, and I knew we were in trouble.
Yes, and that was just the beginning. When we opened a few more blocks, it became clear that they weren't just decorative. Each block was somehow linked to the wizard's magic. One of them released actual fire elementals that immediately began wreaking havoc in our park. Another block triggered a snowstorm right in the middle of summer. We quickly realized that we needed to find a way to stop this magic and figure out how it all connected to the wizard.
Exactly. And you know what was the hardest part? Not just the blocks themselves, but the fact that they started attracting people's attention. Everyone began to gather around, and panic ensued. We tried to explain to people that these weren't just amusing toys, but a serious threat. Fortunately, we had a little time to figure out how to handle the situation. We decided we needed to find the wizard himself and figure out how to stop all these anomalies. But, as it turned out, he was aware of our interference.
Yes, the wizard was very clever. We started deciphering the note and realized that the wizard had left clues on how to neutralize the magic of the blocks. It turned out that each block was connected to a specific element: fire, water, earth, and air. To stop them, we needed to find special amulets that the wizard had hidden in various locations around the city. We managed to find all the amulets and stop the magic of the lucky blocks, and everything ended well. Thanks for watching and listening to this video, everyone. Goodbye for now.
I found 2 amulets and Labrador found the other 2. It will be interesting to see what happens next. Stay tuned for the next video. Goodbye for now.
Hey guys, today Dobie and I are back in action and ready for new challenges. We've just logged into Roblox and found ourselves in the scariest mode: Escape Granny's Prison. Dobie, are you ready for this terrifying adventure?
Hey there, friends. Oh, Labrador. To be honest, I'm not sure if I'm ready, but we have no choice. This mode is no joke. The prison where Granny holds us is far from ordinary. There are traps at every turn, and one wrong move could catch Granny's attention. And she certainly won't miss the chance to grab us.
Yep, you heard that right, guys. This prison is entirely under the control of that old lady. It all started when Granny lured us into her house, as always, promising tea and cookies. But as soon as we crossed the threshold, the door slammed shut, and we found ourselves in her prison. The goal is simple: escape from this ominous trap, but doing so won't be easy. We'll have to sneak through dark corridors, solve puzzles, and most importantly, avoid Granny's watchful eyes.
And that's not all. Every room has traps waiting for us. Floors that could collapse, old wooden shelves that could crash down on your head. But the creepiest part is Granny herself. She hears everything, every rustle, every sound. If something falls or you accidentally bump into something, she's there in an instant.
But the surprises don't end there. At certain points in the game, we need to find keys to locked doors, codes for safes, and levers that activate hidden passages. All of this has to be done quickly and carefully before Granny hears us and catches us. Perhaps the hardest part is navigating the parkour in the basement. It's dark and damp down there, and the floor could give way at any moment.
Labrador, how about that moment when we sneaked into her basement and stumbled upon her huge collection of mousetraps? That was something. And then, just when we thought we'd escaped, it turned out she was waiting for us at the exit. Whew, this Granny doesn't let you relax for a second.
Absolutely, Dobie. But we're not the type of sheriffs to give up easily. We need to muster all our courage to get through this nightmare and break free. Guys, if you think you can handle Granny better than we can, be sure to try this mode.
While Labrador and I gear up for our escape, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button if you enjoyed our video. Your support and comments help us keep taking on any challenge.
Ring that bell so you don't miss new videos and tell your friends about us. Who knows, next time we might face even scarier adventures.
See you soon, friends. We're heading into the heart of Granny's prison, and we hope luck is on our side. Good luck to all, and remember, sheriffs are always on duty.
It all started on an ordinary evening when Dobie and I were patrolling our quiet town. People were used to us always being on guard, and usually nothing serious happened. But that evening, we received a strange call. The voice on the line was quiet and trembling, as if the caller was scared to death. They said that somewhere in the woods on the outskirts of town, there was an old house, and something terrible was happening there. We couldn't ignore such a call.
We knew that there was indeed an abandoned house in that area, which had been standing there for many years. The locals avoided it, as there were many eerie stories associated with it. Some said an old witch lived there. Others claimed the house was cursed. But Labrador and I didn't believe in such tales. However, this call made us think twice. We decided to check it out for ourselves.
When we arrived, we saw the house. It looked like it was about to collapse. Old, cracked walls, windows boarded up, and a sagging roof. Everything around was covered in a thick fog, which seemed to shroud the house in a dark mystery. We exchanged glances, and I noticed that even Dobie, usually calm, looked wary.
As we entered the house, a cold breeze ran down our spines. It was dark inside. The air smelled of dampness and mold. We turned on our flashlights and began to look around. The floors creaked under our paws, and every movement seemed too loud. We were sure no one was there, but the strange feeling that someone else was present didn't leave us.
After searching a few rooms, we stumbled upon an old kitchen. On the table were cups of freshly brewed tea, as if someone had just been sitting there. Suddenly, we heard footsteps behind us. Turning around, we saw a shadow sliding down the corridor. Without a word, we gave chase, but instead of catching someone, we found ourselves at a dead end. At that moment, the door behind us slammed shut with a loud bang. We were trapped.
Suddenly, we heard a creepy, creaky voice coming from the depths of the house. "Ah, what nice guests have come to visit me. Have you come to play with Grandma?" The voice belonged to none other than Granny herself. She had locked us in her house, and now we realized that getting out wouldn't be easy.
We knew we had to act quickly. The whole situation was starting to feel like the worst nightmare. Granny moved around the house incredibly fast, despite her age. She knew every corner of this place, every creaky board, and every trap set in our path. We had to stay unnoticed and avoid drawing her attention.
We began searching for a way out. Granny's house was full of surprises, hidden doors, secret passages, and numerous traps. In one of the corridors, we found an old rusty key that might come in handy. But while we were trying to figure out which door it opened, Granny appeared on the horizon again. We barely managed to hide in a closet, our hearts pounding in our chests. She passed by without noticing us, but we knew we didn't have much time left.
In the basement, we discovered a machine that was clearly used for something sinister. But most importantly, there was a hatch leading outside. This was our chance at salvation. We opened it with the key and found ourselves in an underground tunnel. But as soon as we took the first step, the hatch slammed shut behind us. We knew there was no turning back.
We ran through the tunnel, hearing Granny pursuing us. The tunnel was long and winding, and each step was a struggle. But just when we thought all was lost, we saw light ahead. We rushed towards it with all our might and finally emerged to the surface.
Once outside, we looked back and saw that Granny's house appeared abandoned and quiet again. It seemed like it had all been just a nightmare, but we knew it was real. We had escaped, but we would never forget the horror we experienced in that house.
From that day on, we decided to stay far away from the old house on the outskirts of town. But we're always ready to return if someone else falls into Granny's trap. After all, sheriffs never leave anyone behind, even if it means facing the worst nightmares.
It all began when strange things started happening in our small town. The townspeople reported hearing eerie sounds at night, sounds resembling the growls of animals and the clinking of chains. No one could pinpoint where they were coming from or why they were only heard after dark. Some claimed to have seen flickering lights in the distance near an abandoned farm outside of town. But by morning, everything would be quiet again, as if nothing had happened.
Labrador and I were intrigued by the reports. We knew our townsfolk had a tendency to exaggerate, but we decided to investigate the rumors. We started by researching the history of that farm. It turned out that it used to be the site of a traveling circus, long before Labrador and I came to the town. The circus was owned by a man named Victor Grimm, who was famous for his unusual shows featuring exotic animals. But one day, for unclear reasons, the circus shut down. Rumor had it that something terrible happened, and the farm had been abandoned ever since.
We decided to visit the farm at night since that was when the strange occurrences reportedly happened. Under the cover of darkness, we snuck onto the farm's grounds. The area was overgrown, and the wooden structures were rotting and falling apart. However, as we got closer, we saw dark silhouettes in the distance. These were the remnants of large tents and cages that once held the circus animals.
But the strangest part began when we heard them. The sounds coming from those cages were terrifying. It felt as though the animals that shouldn't have been there anymore were still inside. We cautiously approached one of the cages, and by the light of our flashlights, we saw the silhouette of a massive tiger. But this tiger was not quite normal. Its eyes glowed with a menacing red light, and heavy mist billowed from its mouth, as if it had been reanimated by some dark spell.
Dobie and I couldn't believe our eyes. We knew something was terribly wrong, that we were facing something born of dark magic or a curse. Around us, other noises began to echo. The thunderous stomping of elephants, the pitiful whining of monkeys, and even the horrifying roar of a lion. None of this could be real, but the sensations were so intense that fear gripped us.
We decided that we needed to find out who or what had reanimated these ghostly beasts. As we circled the farm, we stumbled upon an old circus tent. Inside was a large arena, covered in dust and cobwebs. In the center of the arena, we saw something strange. An old circus mirror, surrounded by ritualistic symbols. It seemed to be the source of all this magic. Suddenly, the mirror glowed, and a shadowy figure appeared before us. It was Victor Grimm.
Victor had also vanished, freed from his curse. We stood in the middle of the empty arena, feeling the weight of the magic lifting from the place. The circus was abandoned once more, but this time, it was for good. Goodbye, guys. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our channel. Today, we will be escaping from the evil pot-bellied grandpa.
Yes, hello everyone, Sheriff Labrador. We better keep it down in case he wakes up and whacks us with his cane.
Stupid Dobie, you're yelling louder than me. Look, here's my photo. I'm afraid to think what he did with it.
What are you thinking, Labrador? I think he just printed it out to remember your face. Let's go before dinner time comes and he wakes up.
Let's just jump on his belly instead. You're scared of Dobie again. What can he do to us? His eyes even look in different directions.
Oh no, Labrador, I think we woke him up. Run!
It's okay, Dobie. That old poker is running at a snail's pace. But you'd better hurry up. You're too close to him. Don't fall behind.
I feel uneasy. My tail senses someone about to bite me from behind. The main thing is not to look back.
You're right, but we're almost there. I don't even know why that old man has so many dentures, and why doesn't he clean up the floor? It seems like he's tired of chasing us. Look at these strange photos. Why hang something like this on the wall?
We did it, Sheriff Labrador. Maybe he really loves to look at himself. Although, judging by everything, he hardly ever gets off the couch.
Look! What are those giant boogers on the fork? It doesn't look like broccoli. I hope he didn't bite into them. And there are no teeth of his fallen out inside.
If I'm honest, I adore broccoli. They taste like mushrooms mixed with sea kale. Write in the comments if you like broccoli.
What are you talking about, Dobie? Everyone hates broccoli. Let them rather write what they love to eat the most.
Everyone has different food preferences. If someone likes something that you don't, it doesn't mean that person is strange.
What? Did you see that? Why did I die? I didn't even touch him. Stupid developers. Let's just finish this. Let's calmly walk through these chattering broccoli. See the face of that old man ahead? Just go to him and don't look back.
See that guy? Why is he walking backwards? He's just distracting us. Shoo, I stopped just in time. Spinach almost hit me in the muzzle.
I thought he was really just standing there waiting for us to pass these trials. Turns out he's so crazy he built his own giant iron copy and embedded it in the wall. But even your mom's bigger than him. Ha ha ha.
Watch out not to fall into the lava, Labrador, or you'll roast your sheriff outfit. They won't clean it off like last time when a seagull pooped on you. You tripped over a stone and fell into the city fountain. Ha ha ha.
Why are you speak off the cuff, Dobie? Maybe I should remind you of when you slipped on a piece of pizza and crashed into a lamppost. We had to pay for its repair too.
Very funny. But let's not get distracted, or you'll fall again. Let's ask the guys if they would like to see a video on our channel where we both play The Floor is Lava in Roblox. Write in the comments.
Why are you standing there, you goofball? I've already passed. Let's go further. Ahead of us awaits a conveyor belt with giant falling vegetables. Watch your head.
Once again, we are next to broccoli. Maybe you'll take a bite while you're next to it. I think you'll like it.
Where did you get lost there, eating your broccoli again? We're in a hurry. Ahead of us is the room where we were at the very beginning, only now we're on top. I knew we just had to climb up to escape from him.
Sorry, they were very tempting. I couldn't resist. Look down. What's that pink stuff all over the floor? Maybe it's gum or jelly?
So, I'm Labrador, and my faithful partner is Dobie, the sheriffs of this wonderful city where something happens every day. But this day was truly special. It all started with rumors of strange experiments conducted in our city by a mad scientist. Everyone was tense, but no one expected that these experiments would lead to such a nightmare. This scientist, lost in the realms of science and madness, decided to experiment on jelly. Yes, you heard it right. On that sticky delicacy that each of us loves. He tried to improve it, making it more elastic, but alas, everything didn't go as planned. In one horrifying moment, there was an explosion that threw the scientist several meters back, and the jelly began to grow at an incredible speed. It covered everything in its path, threatening to flood our city. People ran in terror, screaming and praying for salvation. But I, Labrador, the sheriff of this city, couldn't allow this dreadful jelly to destroy everything we had built for so long. And I knew that my faithful friend Dobie was always by my side, ready to help. We moved forward. Our mission was clear: to stop this jelly at any cost. We swam through this sticky madness, my nose literally getting sucked into it, but we didn't give up. With my unmatched intellect and Dobby's nose, we found what fueled this jelly. Some strange reagent left by the scientist in his madness. We destroyed it, and the jelly began to melt, like falling snow. The city was saved. People came out on the streets again, and Dobby and I were proclaimed heroes of the day. But for us, the real reward was that we saved our beloved city from ruin. Thus ended our most incredible day, full of adventures and dangers. And, although no one will know about it firsthand, we know that we, Labrador and Dobby, the dynamic duo of canine justice, saved the world.
Amazing story, Labrador. Thanks for reminding us of it. But why did you bring a board with you? You can't slide down on it like on a sled.
I brought it for you, Dobby, in case you want to protect your pants.
Ha 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 ha! Very funny. Then let's talk about how you tore your pants when you climbed a tree to rescue a cat. The strangest thing was that the tear was in a very unexpected place. I hope the cat didn't get psychological trauma from what she saw there. Ha ha!
Let's not think about that right now. We're about to reach our main goal, to defeat that cheeky, pot-bellied old man.
Okay, Sheriff Labrador, let's focus on that. The main thing is not to repeat what happened a few minutes ago. Don't fall into the lava, ha ha! Look ahead, there are sod boards. Let me go first. I'm not as fat as you, so they won't break under me.
Look, Dobby, in the distance you can see that old man's lure, a golden prune. Strange choice. Why did he spend a lot of money on a dried fruit statue? Maybe it's because that old man himself looks like a dried fruit.
Why did that guy fall apart? He couldn't handle the upcoming challenge mentally. But I hope we'll succeed, Sheriff Labrador.
Dobby, let's finally finish this. Grab that prune and run. That way, we'll distract him with you, and I'll shoot at him with the bazooka.
Oh no, Labrador! It looks like he's hunting you instead of me. I'll try to distract him somehow.
Don't worry, he's very slow. Just make sure to dodge his big red laser. I don't want to find out how painful that is. It would be nice to have a bazooka like that. It would come in handy for major arrests. It even shoots backwards.
We're almost there. Let's push harder. I wonder how long it took him to make that giant suit and how he got inside it.
Yes, we did it. Great job. The world is saved from the crazy old man. We should celebrate, Dobby.
Hooray! Why did he just sink into the ground? Now that we're done, let me tell everyone an interesting story about how we saved the city from a virus epidemic. It all started on an ordinary morning. I went on duty with my partner, Sheriff Labrador. We noticed a sudden increase in the number of sick animals in the city. They were all complaining of weakness and fever, but no one could understand what was happening. We knew we had to act quickly, or the whole city could fall ill. I called our old friend Professor Ben, who worked in a secret laboratory outside the city. Ben had always been at the forefront of science and technology, and if anyone could help, it was him. "Hi, Dobby," said the professor. "It seems I have something that might help you. We've recently developed special visor glasses that allow you to see viruses in the environment." Labrador and I immediately went to Ben and received these amazing glasses. Putting them on, we saw our city in a completely new light. Viruses were everywhere, in the air, on surfaces, even on people and animals. "We need to find the source of the infection," said Labrador. His tail wagging with excitement, we began surveying the city, looking for clusters of viruses. The visor glasses showed that one of the abandoned houses was teeming with viruses. We cautiously entered and discovered an old laboratory where someone had apparently been conducting dangerous experiments. On a table, we found records indicating that someone had deliberately released the virus into the city. It was unthinkable. We gathered all the evidence and returned to the city to warn everyone and start cleaning the infected areas. "We need to isolate the infected and disinfect everything they might have touched," I ordered, and Labrador set out to coordinate the actions of the residents. Together with Professor Ben, we set up purification stations throughout the city. The residents, realizing the seriousness of the situation, began to help us. Labrador and I patrolled the streets, ensuring that everyone was safe. After several days of hard work, we finally managed to get the epidemic under control. The viruses disappeared, and our city became healthy and safe again. "You did a great job, Dobby," said Professor Ben, patting me on the shoulder. Without you and Labrador, we couldn't have handled it so quickly. It's our job, I replied modestly, looking at our beautiful city. We're always here to protect those we care about. So, with the help of new technologies and a team of friends, we were able to save our city from an invisible threat. The visor glasses became a symbol of our victory over the epidemic, reminding everyone that even ordinary law enforcers can do great things.
Great story, Dobie, but it's time to say goodbye. We still have to save the world in real life. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. If you want us to play the scariest map in Roblox, leave a comment.
Goodbye, everyone.
Hello, everyone, guys. Dobie and I really want to go to the bathroom, but the angry teacher won't let us. We'll have to endure or go through the challenges and get to the bathroom.
Yes, guys, hello. So today we logged into Roblox in the mode Don't Poop Yourself at School. Labrador, I really need to go to the bathroom. Let's hurry up. I'm about to brick it right here.
Dobie, do you see how scary it is here? This school is very frightening. There are rumors that the teachers here are real monsters. That's why they don't let students go to the bathroom.
Labrador, today we will find out the truth. But I can already tell you something. It's a big secret. Subscribers. I can tell you too, but you have to subscribe to the channel, like, and leave any comment. Time starts now.
Hey, Dobie, did you also notice that something's not right in our school? These teachers seem strange.
Oh, Labrador, haven't you figured it out yet? They are monsters. Remember Mr. Brown, our math teacher? He has glowing orbs instead of eyes.
Yeah, and his creepy smile when he gives us tests. It's like he feeds on our fear. And Miss Green, the biology teacher? She's definitely not human. Her hands sometimes look like tentacles.
Exactly, and she constantly asks us to bring live frogs for experiments. She's way too into dissecting, if you know what I mean.
Haha, yeah, right. And Mr. Red, our PE teacher, he's always so angry, and when he yells, his voice sounds like a wolf's growl.
Oh, yes, and he never lets us go to the bathroom. It's crazy. Maybe he's afraid we'll find out his secrets.
Quite possible. Remember how he caught Johnny when he tried to run away during recess? He snuck up on him so fast it was like he had 4 legs.
Oh, and Miss White from the library? She never blinks. I saw her eyes glowing in the dark when I returned a book after closing.
How creepy. She's definitely not human. I think she drinks more than just tea when she sits in her chair.
Labrador, have you noticed that the school is always eerily cold? Like there are ghosts here.
Yeah, and the strange noises in the hallways. Last night I heard someone whispering my name. It wasn't you, was it?
No way! In those moments, I hide under the blanket. But remember how we found those footprints on the floor in the chemistry lab? They were huge, like those of a Yeti.
Oh yeah, and that strange smell, like something's rotting. I think that was Mr. Red's dinner.
Haha, possibly. But what should we do? We need to uncover their secrets and tell everyone.
Yes, but first we need to find a safe place. Maybe in the old abandoned classroom.
Great idea. We'll gather evidence and save the other students. We're real detectives.
Hey, Dobie, do you see those huge guys on the field? We need to somehow get past them without getting crushed.
Oh, Labrador, those guys look like real tanks. The coach is definitely serious about their training. Look, that's Coach Brown, our PE teacher. He's definitely not human, more like a bull in human skin.
Yeah, you're right. He yells so loudly that the ground shakes. And those players, if we're not careful, we'll get flattened.
Okay, Labrador, stay close to me. We need to be like ninjas to sneak past them. Over there on the left, the players seem busy practicing tackles.
Good idea, Dobie. But look, Chris, our classmate, just dashed past us on the right. He's running so fast as if Coach Brown himself was chasing him.
Ha ha ha, exactly. I think Coach Brown secretly pumps them full of adrenaline. And what about Coach Green? He's standing by the goal and looks like he's about to explode with anger.
Yeah, and his constant growling when someone makes a mistake. I think he'll turn into the Hulk if someone throws the ball wrong. Hey, let's go behind that pile of helmets. They might give us some cover.
Agreed. Be careful. Don't trip. Oh, and there's Coach Red. His arms look bigger than my legs. Did you see him lift 3 guys at once yesterday?
Yeah, Red could compete in the world's strongest man show. I think he feeds his players some special mix. Hey, look, Coach White is here too. He's writing something in his notebook. Probably planning how to catch us.
Or coming up with a new strategy to turn us into American football stars. But let's hope that's not the case. Ha ha.
One day we received an urgent call from the city school. Students and parents were in a panic as the teachers suddenly turned into supervillains and blocked all the exits. Our city had never seen such chaos. Dobie and I immediately realized that an evil scientist, who had tried to wreak havoc before, was behind this.
Yes, Labrador. That villain was known as Professor Treachery. His goal was always to create chaos and fear. This time, he turned our teachers into monsters and took over the school. We knew we didn't have time to think. We headed straight to the school to deal with the situation.
The first thing we did was sneak into the school through the back entrance. Inside, we were met with a terrible surprise. The hallways were filled with traps and obstacles. Overcoming one obstacle after another, we began searching for the evil professor.
In every classroom, we encountered teachers who had been turned into supervillains. Mrs. Gray, the math teacher, had become the Ice Queen, freezing everything around her. Mr. Brown, the PE teacher, had turned into the Iron Bruiser with superhuman strength. Each encounter was a tough challenge, but we didn't give up.
We understood that we needed to find the source of this transformation and stop Professor Treachery. As we passed through the library, we stumbled upon a secret passage leading to an underground laboratory. That's where the professor was hiding with his evil equipment.
When Professor Treachery saw us, he tried to activate his last trump card, a giant robot that was supposed to destroy the school, but we didn't give him a chance. Using our wit and agility, we disabled the robot and captured the professor.
Gathering all the evidence of his crimes, we called for backup. Professor Treachery was arrested and his equipment was destroyed. Gradually, the teachers returned to normal, and the school once again became a place where you could learn without fear.
We're glad we could save the school and restore peace and calm. That day reminded us of how important it is to be ready for any challenge and to protect our city from evil.
That day started like any other, but turned into a real fairy tale. Dobie and I were patrolling our city when we noticed a strange glow coming from an old building on the outskirts. Deciding to check it out, we went inside and found ourselves drawn into an incredible adventure.
Yes, Labrador, it was something unimaginable. We entered a laboratory full of strange machines and vials. Suddenly, an evil scientist we had never seen before appeared. He introduced himself as Dr. Confidus and announced that he was going to turn all people into sweets. We tried to stop him, but he activated his machine, and we were both enveloped in a bright light.
When the light faded, we were horrified to find that we had turned into wild animals. I became a wolf and Dobie a fox. But that wasn't the worst part. Everyone around us had turned into sweets. Houses, shops, and streets were all covered with candies, cookies, and pastries that were once people.
We knew we had to act quickly. Our first task was to find Dr. Confetus, but he had disappeared. While searching for clues, we encountered several animals who had also been transformed from people. They were panicking, but we calmed them down and promised to find a way to return everyone to their normal state.
Our first step was to find a safe place for the animals to hide from other wild beasts. We found an old abandoned farm where they could take shelter. Then we headed deep into the forest, hoping to find some traces that could lead us to Dr. Confidus.
Labrador, do you remember how we stumbled upon that ancient cave? Inside, we found old records and magical symbols. It turned out that Dr. Confidus had used ancient magic to create his machine. We realized we needed to find a magical artifact to break the spell.
We continued searching and came across a magical tree that, according to legends, could set things right. The tree was guarded by a pack of wolves, but thanks to my new form, I was able to convince them to let us pass. We received a magical fruit from the tree, which was supposed to destroy the spell.
Returning to the city, we found Dr. Confidus's machine. I climbed inside and destroyed it using the magical fruit. Immediately after, all the sweets began to turn back into people. Dr. Confidus's magic was undone.
However, this didn't free Dobie and me from our animal forms. At the last moment, we found Dr. Confidus trying to escape. We caught him and forced him to return us to our human bodies. He reluctantly agreed, knowing he had no other choice.
Once we were back in our normal forms, everyone in the city thanked us for saving them. Dr. Confidus was arrested, and the city returned to normal. It was an adventure we will never forget.
Hey, Dobie, see that teacher? She's throwing textbooks at us. We need to figure out how to stop her right away.
Wow, Labrador. Let's take cover. That's Miss Duty. She's furious. But what do we have against her textbooks?
Look, there are plungers in the corner. Let's use them. We can throw them at her to neutralize the threat.
Ha ha ha! This is going to be hilarious. All right, Labrador, aim and throw.
Catch this, Miss Duty. The plunger is flying. Look, it hit her right in the hair.
Great throw. Now it's my turn. I grab the plunger and throw. Ah, missed. I need to be more precise.
Don't give up, Dobie. We have to defeat her so we can finally go to the bathroom. Another throw. Hit her in the shoulder.
Ha ha! Labrador! She looks like a hedgehog with plungers. My second throw. Right in the stomach. Direct hit.
The plungers are ready. Who would have thought we'd have to fight a teacher using plungers? But if that's the only way to win and get to the bathroom, so be it. Dobie, look, her health is decreasing. Just a bit more and we'll defeat her. Throw another one.
With pleasure. Here you go, Miss Duty. Another plunger and... Got her. We defeated her.
Hooray! Now we can finally go to the bathroom. Great job, Dobie. Thank you for watching. See you again. Hello, dear friends. Today we will be escaping from the evil dog head.
But we won't just be escaping. We need to help the mama cat find her kittens. There are 7 kittens in total.
Don't forget to like the video. Well, let's get started. She says there will be monsters waiting for us, but we already know who they are. Maybe they'll see us and think we're one of them.
I hope we don't find out the answer to that question from inside one of them. But that would be amusing.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
They came out so suddenly, I didn't expect them around the corner at all.
Look, we found a purple key on the ground. That means there's a purple hole nearby. I mean, a purple lock.
We found it. It seems there's a spawn point here for a reason. Let's go in.
Okay, it seems you're right. We need to do some parkour, but if we fall, we'll be eaten by the giant evil dog head.
It's interesting how she got in here, considering the doors are so small.
Oh no, we fell right next to her. Luckily, she's clumsy due to her size. It must be very cramped for her here. I don't think she was put here intentionally. She was probably born and raised here.
I even feel a little sorry for her. It seems she's never even seen sunlight. That's probably why her eyes are red.
Phew, we landed very lucky on another parkour element, so we won't have to go back far.
Yeah, Sheriff Labrador. Luck is one of the main factors in parkour.
It turns out this block falls too. It's fortunate that having good reflexes gives you a chance not to fall.
Reflexes are indeed good, but it seems like it was too slippery there to get a grip.
Yeah, I also wanted to say that I think luck is needed all the time. Not just in parkour, but in life in general.
Rightly observed, Labrador. We've already passed the parkour. Somewhere around here is the lost kitten.
Here he is. Poor thing, sitting in the cage and crying. We need to quickly take him back to his mama cat. He might be hungry.
It seems we're headed into this portal. It wouldn't be cool to go through the parkour again in reverse.
Here's your little one, mama cat. Try not to lose track of them again. Now, let's go find the rest.
I hope this time it won't be as scary to find the key.
I'm afraid, Dobie, they might have gotten even angrier and called their friends so we couldn't rescue the others.
Yeah, let's try going left. Maybe there are fewer of them that way.
Wow, a banana. Maybe it's also some kind of special key.
It looks like it's a lure in case we get hungry.
Oh no, run! There are so many of them that the screen is shaking as they run.
When will we find the key already?
Here it is, finally. We found the key in the door right away.
Oh no, be careful. Go around them along the wall.
We managed to slip through. It's a good thing we're so agile.
I think there's a bone parkour here. I'm afraid to find out whose bones they are from.
Why is there a bone on the left if you can just... I got it. It was a scam.
Labrador, usually when people say scam, they mean an online deception for money.
Well, Dobie, now I know. By the way, what if the bones are here intentionally and they knew we'd come and gnaw on them? Did they think it would be so easy to bait us?
Unlikely. I have only one question. Why did they dress us up as cats? What if they had seen that we were dogs? They wouldn't have been hostile towards us.
Unfortunately, we won't find out because it's impossible to take it off. It's stuck.
I hear some sounds too. We need to get to the source. Maybe it's hypnotism for the kitten.
Perhaps. Here's the source, the head of the evil dog. It seems to be a fake. And in fact, it's a speaker.
It's emitting very strange sounds, as if it's a signal for aliens or a call for other crazy dog heads.
Hooray! Come on, little kitten. We'll take you back to your mom now.
I wonder where the father of these kittens is.
I hope he's safe. And those weren't his bones there.
Here's another kitten. Only 5 left to find.
Let's keep going and search for the keys.
It seems like this isn't a key. Why do we need a toilet?
This is a teleporter. It's strange that it's in the toilet. Maybe we're in the sewer.
Judging by the fact that we just jumped into the water, that's true. Oh, look, it's the evil doghead fish. How does its head not tip over?
It seems we need to somehow navigate around these air currents so we don't get pulled up towards the dogfish.
Yeah, I see a spot where we can swim through. The main thing is not to rush and hold our breath well.
Oops, looks like she can swim. I thought she was just standing still.
Hey, Labrador, what do you think this place is, and how did we end up here?
I have no idea, Dobie. It's definitely weird. Why are mama cat's kittens locked up in cages guarded by the heads of evil dogs? And why do we need to go through all these trials to reach them?
It seems they chose us precisely because they know we're the best sheriffs. Maybe these dog heads were once ordinary, kind dogs, but something went wrong with an experiment. Or they were intentionally made like this. But who and for what purpose could create such a strange place?
Perhaps it's the work of some mad scientist or a group of pranksters. Or maybe it's part of some larger experiment. Regardless, our priority right now is to figure out how to navigate through these challenges and rescue those kittens.
Agreed. It seems that each trial is designed to test our skills and problem-solving abilities. We'll save these kittens and uncover the mystery of this strange place.
Hold the kitten, let's go find the next one.
I hope they're okay and still alive after all this time. But I don't think kittens would taste good. Plus, they're small and bony.
Great, another key. The door must be nearby.
There it is. Hurry up.
All right, what's up this time? These trials are really exciting.
There is a lot of dirt and stones around. Are we underground?
Look, we stepped on some strange material and it disappeared right under our feet. Just hope there's no trap like in Minecraft when you dig below yourself.
I hope the kids aren't claustrophobic. Let's make the atmosphere a little less gloomy by telling the kids a story about how there was a feud between cats and dogs in town. But we managed to band together to prevent something terrible from happening. It was a tense time in our city. Dogs and cats were at each other's throats, constantly bickering and fighting over territory and resources. It seemed like there was no end to the animosity between them.
Indeed, Dobie. The situation was dire. The streets were filled with growls and hisses, and it felt like the city was on the brink of chaos. But then something unexpected happened.
One day, a series of mysterious disappearances occurred. Dogs and cats from all over the city were vanishing without a trace. At first, we thought it was just the usual conflicts escalating, but it soon became clear that something more sinister was at play.
We knew we had to act fast. Despite the long-standing animosity between our two species, we realized that we were all in this together. We couldn't let our differences divide us any longer.
So, we put aside our rivalry and joined forces to investigate the disappearances. Working together was challenging at first, but as we delved deeper into the mystery, we discovered evidence pointing to a common enemy.
Hooray! We saved a kitten! It turns out that a group of rogue animals, neither dog nor cat, was behind the disappearances. They were trying to sow discord among us, using our differences against us to further their own agenda.
But we weren't about to let them succeed. With the help of our fellow dogs and cats, we tracked down the culprits and put an end to their scheme. In doing so, we realized that despite our differences, we were stronger together.
How sneaky! There was an evil doghead waiting for us right behind the door. I'm very glad that now cats and dogs in our city no longer harbor hatred towards each other.
I completely agree with you. Look, we found a door and immediately found the key. Very convenient.
While we were looking for that door, we found another key. Since we found another door as well, let's go through this one.
Labrador, I just remembered another interesting story. I always love spending time in the forest, enjoying nature, and collecting mushrooms. One warm autumn day, I decided to go for a walk in the woods alone. Labrador was busy with city affairs, and I thought some solitude wouldn't hurt. As I walked along the narrow path, I relished the fresh air and the vibrant colors of the autumn leaves. Soon, I stumbled upon a clearing with magnificent white mushrooms, and I began gathering them into my basket. Suddenly, I heard a strange noise coming from deep within the forest and decided to check it out. As I got closer, the forest came alive. The tree branches seemed alive and were moving as if trying to grab me. In a panic, I started looking for a way back, but the path had disappeared. Gathering all my courage, I continued forward, hoping to find a way out.
Oh no, we made a mistake. We've been here before.
Suddenly, I stumbled upon a deep pit filled with water and saw a large bear heading towards it. I froze, not daring to breathe. While the bear drank, I slowly and quietly began to retreat. But one of the branches under my foot snapped, and the bear looked up, staring straight at me. My basket of mushrooms fell from my hands, and I ran. I dashed through the forest, avoiding branches, until I burst onto a familiar clearing where the path leading out of the forest began. My heart was pounding, but I kept running until I reached safety. When I finally emerged from the forest, I was exhausted, but happy to have avoided danger.
Very engaging story with an unexpected twist, Dobie. Thanks for sharing it with us. Well, we found another key and are hurrying to open the penultimate door. Let's hope everything's all right with the kittens.
I see him behind the glass wall. We need to figure out how to reach it.
It looks like we'll have to do some parkour on the rocks. By the way, it really reminds me of the floor is lava mode. Guys, be sure to check out the video about this mode on our channel.
I'd like to take this golden key and melt it down. It could fetch a pretty penny. Something tells me there's a spawn point here for a reason.
You're right, the evil dog eat us.
How I love my job. From the outside, it seems very difficult. To some extent, it is. But when the work is enjoyable for you, all the difficulties seem trivial. It's always fun when you have such a cool partner like you, Labrador.
Very kind words, Dobie, thank you. You're a great partner, too. But it seems like this is the last kitten.
Old Mama Cat, never lose your kittens again. Our adventure is coming to an end.
Here we are, finally out of that dreadful place and having done another good deed. It feels so satisfying. Anyway, thanks to everyone for watching. Feel free to suggest more games for us to play in the comments. Like, subscribe, and check out our other videos. But for now, we won't say goodbye.
See you later. Greetings, friends. I'm Sheriff Dobie, and today, along with my loyal partner, Sheriff Labrador, we are diving into an incredible adventure in Roblox in the Bori Prison Escape Mode. Hello, Labrador. Hello, Dobie. Hello to all our viewers. Today, we have a challenging task: to escape from an underwater prison where the floor is made of water. It seems we've been framed and ended up here because of the merfolk. But no worries, we will find a way out. Yes, Labrador, that's right. This mode is a real test. Imagine a huge prison located underwater. Instead of the usual corridors and cells, there are massive aquariums filled with water where you have to swim to move around. Each cell has puzzles that need to be solved to progress further. Exactly, Dobie. And there are dangerous sea creatures here that will try to stop us. We will need to avoid sharks, electric eels, and even giant jellyfish. But the most difficult part is finding the keys hidden in various corners of this underwater prison. Precisely. So, our task is to find these keys, solve all the puzzles, and of course, uncover the mystery of who framed us and why. I'm sure we can handle this together.
And we need to stay alert because the merfolk might set traps for us. We must be cautious and always keep our ears pricked.
Absolutely right. So, are you ready for the adventure? Let's get started. Good luck to everyone. And don't forget to support us with likes and comments. We'll start with the first level, finding a way out of the cell. Oh, it seems we've already gotten out of the cell and into some strange place.
We're about to embark on a truly exciting adventure. One day, Dobie and I thought, what if we built a super rocket and traveled to all the worlds? We pooled all our knowledge, skills, and a bit of ingenuity to create this amazing machine. And now, the rocket is ready. Dobie, are you ready for launch?
Of course, Labrador. So, our super rocket, named World Voyager, is on the launch pad. We carefully designed it to withstand any conditions and take us to the farthest corners of the universe. Labrador, did you complete the final technical inspection?
Yes, Dobie, all systems are working perfectly. I checked the engines, fuel tanks, and navigation systems. We're ready for launch. All aboard, friends. Our first journey begins right now. Launch.
3, 2, 1, lift off! The rocket smoothly ascends. We pass through the atmosphere, and here we are, in open space. An incredible sight, right, Labrador?
Yes, Dobie, it's amazing. Our first destination is the moon, as it's the closest world to us. Within a few minutes, we've landed on the lunar surface. Everything is covered in dust, and traces of previous expeditions are visible. But what's this? Someone is coming towards us.
It's the moon inhabitants. They're friendly and have invited us to their market, where they sell unusual souvenirs and items made from moon rocks. We exchanged gifts and learned a lot about their culture. But it's time to move on. Where to next, Labrador?
Dobie, how about Mars? They say there are hidden cities there. We take off again and head to the Red Planet. After a soft landing, we see amazing Martian cities built under domes. These domes protect the inhabitants from the harsh conditions of Mars.
We met a Martian engineer who showed us his inventions. It turns out the Martians are developing systems to process Martian soil into useful materials. We took some ideas into account and set off again.
Our next stop was Titan, Saturn's moon. Everything here was covered with icy lakes and mountains. We put on special suits and went to explore the subglacial caves. In one of the caves, we met the Titanians, intelligent beings living under the ice and feeding on Saturn's energy.
The Titanians turned out to be excellent storytellers. They told us legends about their ancestors and showed us ancient manuscripts carved on ice tablets. We were impressed by their culture and peaceful way of life. Time flew by, and it was time for a new journey.
How about Venus? They say colonies living in the clouds have been recently discovered there. We took off and headed to this mysterious planet. Venus greeted us with a dense atmosphere, but we successfully made our way through it and saw giant floating cities in the clouds.
These cities were built on huge cloud platforms, and the Venusians turned out to be incredibly hospitable. They showed us their technology, which allows them to extract energy from cloud vortices and create artificial rainforests. We spent several days enjoying their hospitality and studying their achievements.
And now it's time for the farthest journey. We set course for Proxima Centauri, the closest star to us. This journey took several weeks, but thanks to our super rocket, we arrived safely. On one of the planets, we discovered an amazing world inhabited by cybernetic beings.
These beings lived in harmony with nature and technology. They showed us their advancements in artificial intelligence and nanotechnology. We were amazed at how they managed to create a perfect balance between life and technology. And so, finally, our journey came to an end.
We returned home, full of impressions and knowledge. It was an incredible adventure, and we're glad you friends were with us all this time. Our super rocket performed excellently, and we will definitely continue to explore new worlds in the future.
Thank you for being with us, friends. We learned a lot, saw incredible places, and met amazing beings. We hope you enjoyed our story.
I will tell you an amazing story that happened to us a week ago. There were so many incidents and calls in our town that Dobie and I just couldn't be everywhere at once. So we decided to take extreme measures and clone ourselves. Dobie, are you ready to tell how it all started?
All right. A week ago, Labrador and I turned to our old friend, Professor Tesla, who specializes in biotechnology. We explained our problem to him, and he suggested creating our clones. We knew it was risky, but we had no other choice.
Professor Tesla developed a special machine that could create exact copies of us with the same skills and knowledge. He assured us that the clones would act and think just like us. After a few hours of work, our clones were ready. We named them Dobie 2 and Labrador 2. The robbery was orchestrated by a gang known as the Dark Shadows. They were professionals, and it would have been tough for us to handle them. But our clones rose to the occasion. They infiltrated the bank through the ventilation system and managed to neutralize the robbers using their hand-to-hand combat skills and strategic thinking.
Meanwhile, Labrador and I received another call, a fire at a factory. We rushed there to help the firefighters. There were many people in the factory, and they needed to be evacuated urgently. Working together with the firefighters, we managed to save all the workers and prevent the fire from spreading to neighboring buildings.
During this time, Dobie 2 and Labrador 2 received a call about a hostage situation at a school. There were armed criminals on the scene, and the situation was very tense. Our clones started negotiating with the criminals while simultaneously devising a plan to rescue the hostages.
Using cleverness and negotiation skills, the clones managed to distract the criminals and secretly enter the school. They then neutralized the criminals and safely evacuated all the children and teachers. It was an incredibly brave and professional act.
Meanwhile, several more incidents occurred in our town. A jewelry store robbery, street races, and a highway accident. But thanks to our clones, we were able to handle each of them. Dobie 2 and Labrador 2 acted like real heroes, and people started noticing that the sheriffs could be in two places at once.
But not everything went smoothly. A few days later, we noticed that our clones were starting to behave strangely. They became more aggressive and unpredictable. Professor Tesla explained that the clones might begin to develop their own personalities and go out of control.
And then, one evening, our clones caused real chaos in the town. They decided they could become the new rulers of the town and started setting their own rules. We had to step in and stop them.
It was a tough battle. Our clones knew all our tactics and moves, but we used our wits and experience to outsmart them. In the end, we managed to neutralize them and bring them back to Professor Tesla.
The professor apologized for what had happened and destroyed the cloning machine. We realized there are no shortcuts to success and that we have to handle all challenges ourselves, relying on our own strengths and mutual support.
This was an important lesson for us. We understood that despite all the difficulties, true strength lies in our team and our ability to work together. Thank you for being with us, friends. We are always ready to help, and no difficulties will stop us.
A week ago, Sheriff Dobie and I used a teleport to travel to the future and the past. It all started when we received a mysterious device from our friend, Professor Tesla.
Professor Tesla explained that his new invention could move us through time. He gave us the task of testing the teleport and finding out how it could be used for the benefit of our town. We immediately agreed and began our journey.
First, we decided to travel to the past. We set the teleport to 50 years ago and found ourselves in our town when it was completely different. Old buildings, people in retro clothes, and vintage cars. It was all amazing. We met a young Sheriff Jack who became our mentor.
It was an unforgettable adventure, friends. We hope to use the teleport again to make our town safer. Thank you for being with us. Until next time and new adventures.
Hi everyone, it's Sheriff Labrador here again with my partner, Sheriff Dobie. Today we found ourselves in a creepy new Roblox game called Escape Grimace Shake's Prison. Imagine a prison built by the weirdest and craziest character, Grimace Shake. Everything here is made of his favorite shakes. But don't get too excited. These treats are full of traps and dangers. So hit that like button and tell us in the comments which trap would scare you the most. Ready, Dobie?
Hey, friends! Wow, Labrador, this place is seriously creepy. According to the story, Grimace Shake decided that anyone who doesn't love his shakes should end up in his prison. He's locked us up here to prove that his shakes are not just drinks, but real challenges. We need to find the keys to open 3 doors and escape, but Grimace has placed his shakes everywhere, and each one is a new trap. And the most important thing, don't let him catch us, or he'll make us drink these weird shakes until the end of the game.
Yeah, and don't think it's going to be easy. Every room in this prison feels like its own little Grimace world, where everything sways and wobbles like his shakes. The floors are slippery, the walls are moving, and instead of regular doors, there are giant shake glasses that you have to activate to move forward. Sometimes, you'll need to find hidden buttons or use special crystals that give you temporary protection from his traps.
Plus, there are mechanical arms here that try to grab us and pull us back to the cell. Grimace has cameras all over the place, and if you get caught in their view, an alarm goes off and the chase begins. To avoid this, you have to hide behind walls and furniture. But even that can be risky, because some walls suddenly start moving or disappear when you get close.
Legend has it that Grimace used to be just an ordinary shake, but after being ignored at the cafe, he turned into a villain. His goal is to make everyone aware of his mighty shakes and to love them, but his methods are definitely wrong. He uses his prison as a test of endurance and cunning to prove that his shakes deserve attention. But we're not going to give up that easily.
And hey, Labrador, remember that moment when we had to run through the giant mixer room? That was wild. Mixers were spinning, shakes were pouring from the ceiling, and we had to jump from one platform to another to avoid falling into that swirling vortex. And we also had to watch out not to step on falling ice cubes that could knock us back down.
And of course, we can't forget Grimace's signature trick, his giant straws that can pull us in any direction. You have to be really careful when they start moving, because if you don't make it through in time, they'll suck you back into the cell. The keys are hidden in the most unexpected places, like in a giant shake that you have to stir to reach the key at the bottom.
So, friends, support us with your likes and comments, because with your help, we'll definitely escape this shake trap. We have to get through all these rooms, avoid getting caught by Grimace, and find all the keys to finally escape and regain our freedom. Plus, we need to uncover why Grimace became such a villain. Maybe we can help him become good again?
Let's find out together what's really behind Grimace Shake's strange prison. Subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss our new adventures, and tell your friends so they can also learn how to escape this crazy prison. Onward to freedom and new challenges, partner. Ready? Let's get started.
Let's go, Labrador! Let's run as fast as our paws can carry us. See you on the other side, friends. We will definitely get out, especially with such an awesome support team like you.
Dobie, are you sure you understood what they said over the radio? At first I thought it was a joke or some kind of mistake. A call about a living Grimace Shake? That can't be real. I always thought things like that only existed on the internet, in memes and videos. But now we're getting reports that someone saw this purple drink with eyes and arms walking around the park, scaring people. And they're saying it's acting aggressively, throwing trash, hurling stones, and apparently trying to frighten kids. I can't imagine how we're going to deal with this. Have you ever seen anything like it?
Labrador, I couldn't believe my ears either. I initially thought it was just a prank, or someone was trying to mess with us again. But when we got to the scene and saw that living shake wandering through the park, I knew it was serious. It really did look like the Grimace Shake from those weird videos, purple with big eyes and a very grumpy expression. When I tried to get closer to calm it down, it almost threw a trash can at me. It's definitely not in the mood for negotiations. Labrador, we've dealt with a lot, but a living drink, this is a whole new level. We need to figure out how to calm it down without hurting anyone.
Yeah, this Grimace Shake is definitely not the friendliest character. I was thinking maybe it's just scared or doesn't understand where it is. If it's some kind of creature that ended up here by accident, it must be as frightened as everyone who sees it. We can't just walk up and arrest it like a regular offender. We need to find a way to make contact and understand what it needs. Remember how we calmed down that escaped panda at the zoo? Maybe we should try something similar. Although, of course, food probably won't help. On the other hand, maybe it has a weakness for something specific. We need to figure out what could attract its attention and calm it down.
Labrador, I was thinking the same thing. It seems like this shake reacts to loud noises and sudden movements. Every time someone shouted or made quick gestures, it started acting more aggressively. But when I quietly approached from the other side and just watched, it seemed to calm down. It looks like it doesn't like sudden changes, and maybe it's just trying to protect itself. What if we try playing something soothing, music or nature sounds? Remember how we played rain sounds for those dogs at the shelter that needed calming down? It might work here too, but there's one problem. It's already climbed to the top of the fountain and is just sitting there, frowning and pelting us with fruit.
Great idea, Dobie. Music really might help. I've got a speaker in the car that connects to my phone. We could play some relaxing music and try to step back a bit so we don't scare it anymore. Let it sit and listen calmly. If it works, we can carefully escort it to a safe place where it won't bother anyone. And while you keep it distracted with music, I'll try to find some information about this creature. Maybe there's something online that will tell us where it came from and how to deal with it. Grimace Shake. Who would have thought? Let's give it a try, Dobie, and hopefully it'll calm our purple guest down.
Sounds great, Labrador. I can already picture us playing a soothing tune and this shake slowly calming down. Let's hope it works, and we don't have to chase it all over town. While you get the speaker ready, I'll take a position and try to get bystanders to move away. We need as few people around as possible to avoid unnecessary noise and commotion. Let's stick to the plan, partner. Today we're calming down purple shakes, and who knows what tomorrow will bring. The important thing is to work together and never give up. Let's do this, Labrador.
Perfect, Dobie. We've handled tougher situations before. The main thing now is not to panic and take it easy. I've set up the speaker, started the music, and it seems like Grimace Shake is actually starting to relax a bit. Look, it stopped throwing things. Great job keeping the crowd away, by the way. Now let's slowly move closer, so we don't startle it again. If everything goes according to plan, we'll be able to lead it away from the park and find it a place where it won't be a bother to anyone. You're right, Dobie. We'll handle this because we're a team.
Look, Labrador, the music really seems to be working. It's not as tense anymore, even kind of swaying to the rhythm. We've got this, I'm sure. Let's move slowly, keep our distance, and just wait for it to calm down completely. Maybe In the end, Grimace Shake is just lost and doesn't know how to behave in this strange world for it. And we're going to help it. Come on, partner, just a little more, and everything will be fine. Our city will be calm and safe again, even if we have to deal with the most unusual creatures. Let's go, Labrador, we've got a job to do.
Dobie, do you remember that old candy store on Biscuit Street? We used to visit it as kids. It was a real paradise for sweet tooths back then. But who would have thought that this store would turn into such a sinister place after all these years? When we got the call about strange noises and movements inside the abandoned store, I thought it was just another kid's prank or someone playing urban legends. But when we went inside, I realized I was wrong. Those shadows, those rustlings, and then you turned into a living candy monster. At first, I couldn't believe my eyes, thought it was another trick. But you were made of lollipops, gummy bears, and marshmallows. How is that even possible, Dobie? I didn't know what to do.
Labrador, I was in shock too. When we entered the store, I immediately felt something was off. There was a strange smell in the air. Sweet, but somehow musty. And then the light. It seemed like the lamps had long burned out, but everything was still glowing with colorful lights, like in old candy machines. I took a step forward to get a better look at one of the displays, and suddenly felt something was wrong. My body started changing, just like in some weird dream. Suddenly my paws became sticky, and my tail turned into a huge caramel stick. I was panicking, trying to say something, but my voice sounded like rustling wrappers. It was a nightmare. I tried to move, but all I did was make candy and gum crunching noises. Labrador, it felt like I was going to be this monster forever. How did you manage to get it together so quickly and figure out what to do?
Your rescue was super easy for me. I just poured water on you and the monster disappeared. Thanks everyone for watching. See you next time. Hey guys, it's Sheriff Labrador and Sheriff Dobie back again. Today we've jumped into a new mode in Roblox, Escape from Iron Man's prison. This isn't just any prison. It's a fortress packed with high-tech traps, lasers, and security drones. We'll need to use all our skills to get out of here.
Hello, everyone. This mode is awesome. Just imagine, we've been captured by Iron Man himself, or his robotic version, and locked up in his super prison. Everything here is made of indestructible metals and Stark Industries technology. Now our task is to escape before the security drones catch us.
It all starts with us waking up in a cell. Surrounding us are steel walls that seem impossible to break. But I noticed a small ventilation grate in the corner of the cell. That's our first chance to escape. We crawl through it and end up in a huge corridor filled with laser traps.
Yeah, these lasers aren't for the faint-hearted. You have to be very careful not to get caught in them. But that's just the beginning. Once we pass the lasers, we face a huge parkour challenge. The walls and floors are moving. Spikes and electric traps are everywhere. And it's all under Iron Man's control, who's watching us through cameras.
After the parkour, we'll face our first major danger, the security drones. They patrol every corner of the prison and can spot us at any moment. But we've got a little trick. If we move cautiously and hide behind obstacles, we can sneak past them unnoticed.
But that's not all. Once we deal with the drones, we'll face a real boss, the Lego version of Iron Man. He's incredibly strong, with a whole arsenal of lasers, rockets, and other weapons. But we won't give up. We need to use agility, speed, and cunning to defeat him.
And don't forget, before the final showdown, there's another fight. With the Lego version of Iron Man the Chef. He throws giant Lego vegetables at us, and we'll have to dodge and find the weak spots in his armor. It won't be easy, but we'll make it through.
In the grand finale, we'll have an epic battle against the mega robot Iron Man made of Lego. It's a gigantic machine guarding the exit from the prison. We have to defeat it in several stages, destroying parts of its body one by one. But once we take it down, the long-awaited escape and victory will be ours.
And don't forget, before the final showdown, there's another fight. With the Lego version of Iron Man the Chef. He throws giant Lego vegetables at us, and we'll have to dodge and find the weak spots in his armor. It won't be easy, but we'll make it through.
In the grand finale, we'll have an epic battle against the mega robot Iron Man made of Lego. It's a gigantic machine guarding the exit from the prison. We have to defeat it in several stages, destroying parts of its body one by one. But once we take it down, the long-awaited escape and victory will be ours.
It was just another morning in our town. The sun had just begun to rise over the horizon when I, Sheriff Labrador, was already up and ready for the new day. There was nothing unusual about that day until Dobie and I received an emergency call. A malfunction had occurred at the local lab, and strange energy surges were spreading across the city.
We immediately rushed to the scene. When we arrived, we saw the destruction left behind by this mysterious malfunction. The lab's walls were breached, and debris was flying everywhere. At the center of all this chaos stood a massive machine, pulsating with red light. And next to it was Tony Stark himself, in his iconic Iron Man armor. His expression was grim, and it was clear that the situation had spiraled out of control.
Tony quickly explained that he and Bruce Banner had been working on a new project, trying to create an alternative energy source. But something went wrong, and the machine started generating energy they couldn't control. It could explode at any moment, not only destroying the lab, but also the entire city.
We knew we had to act fast. Tony said that his team, the Avengers, was on the way, but it might be too late by the time they arrived. We offered our help, and seeing our determination, Tony assigned us the task of finding a way to shut down the machine from the inside.
We infiltrated the lab where we encountered all sorts of traps and security systems. It seemed as though the machine was defending itself from any interference, but we weren't the type to give up easily. Working together, we managed to break through to the machine's core.
But then, we were met with another surprise. The machine wasn't just generating energy, it was creating portals, from which creatures from other dimensions began to emerge. They were aggressive and tried to stop us from shutting down the process. We had to fight them off while figuring out how to disable the device.
At that moment, we heard a powerful roar. It was the Avengers arriving to help. Thor, Captain America, Black Widow, and Hulk stormed into the lab, assisting us in fending off the creatures. Thor struck down several with his hammer, while Captain America shielded us with his shield. It was total chaos. But with their help, we managed to reach the machine's central computer.
With Tony's guidance over the comms, we were able to enter the shutdown code. The machine began to slow down, and the portals started closing one by one. But one of the creatures managed to land a final blow on the control panel, causing a short circuit. A flash of light blinded us, and when we came to, everything was quiet. The machine was off, and all the portals were closed.
The Avengers thanked us for our help, but the story didn't end there. Once everything had calmed down, Tony Stark offered us a chance to join them. He said we had proven ourselves to be true heroes, and that the Avengers were always looking for those ready to fight for good.
We were surprised and excited. Joining the Avengers, it was an honor we never could have dreamed of. Of course, we accepted. And so, we became part of the greatest team of heroes defending the world from threats.
Since then, we've been part of many missions. We fought side by side with Earth's mightiest heroes, protecting our world from alien invasions, evil geniuses, and magical threats. We learned what it meant to be part of something bigger, what it meant to be an Avenger.
And although our adventures were just beginning, we knew one thing. With the Avengers, we were ready for any challenge. We became not just the sheriffs of our town, but the protectors of the entire Earth.
It all started when a new threat began to emerge in our town. A group of high-tech criminals armed to the teeth. They used advanced technology to carry out robberies, hacks, and even attacks on citizens. The usual police equipment couldn't handle them, and the situation was growing more dangerous by the day.
One day, after yet another attack by this gang, Labrador and I decided that we couldn't just sit idly by anymore. We knew we had to do something to protect our town. That's when we had an idea. What if we used technology against the criminals themselves?
Remembering our recent adventures with the Avengers, we realized that we didn't just need a new plan. We needed new powers. And who better to help us than Tony Stark, the genius, billionaire, playboy, and philanthropist? We went to him, explained our problem, and asked for his help.
Tony listened to us carefully, then started thinking. We could practically see his brain buzzing with ideas. Why not? He finally said. Tony suggested creating special suits for us that would turn us into real iron dogs. These weren't just suits of armor, they were full systems capable of adapting to any situation.
We started working with him in his lab. Tony was incredibly generous and gave us access to all his resources. We designed the suits thinking through every detail and function. For each of our unique traits, he created custom systems.
For me, Tony developed a suit with enhanced sensory equipment, allowing me to track enemies from a great distance, even if they were hiding behind walls. I also got powerful energy cannons built into my paws and reinforced armor plates that could withstand even the most powerful attacks.
As for me, Tony created a suit with enhanced claws that could cut through metal and a jetpack for quick movement across the battlefield. My armor was equipped with a system that adapted to damage, automatically strengthening protection in weak spots.
After several weeks of intense work, our suits were ready. We ran test trials in virtual reality, where we faced simulations of those very criminals. Our suits performed brilliantly. We could match their technology and even surpass it.
Then the day came when we first used our new powers in a real battle. The criminals once again tried to rob a bank using their high-tech devices. But this time, they were up against us, the sheriffs in Iron Dog suits.
We quickly neutralized their defense systems, foiled their plans, and prevented the robbery. The criminals hadn't anticipated this turn of events and were stunned by our power. One by one, they tried to escape, but thanks to our new abilities, we captured every last one of them.
The city was saved, and we proved once again that no one could threaten our citizens while we were on guard. But this victory was only the beginning. We knew that our new mission was not only to protect our city, but also to teach other sheriffs and defenders around the world how to use technology for good.
We didn't just become heroes, we became inspirations for many. The Iron Dog suits became symbols not only of strength, but also of wisdom, selflessness, and a desire to protect. Since then, our town sleeps peacefully, knowing that the Iron Dogs are on guard, ready to step up and defend at any moment. Friends, goodbye for now. See you in the next adventure.
Hello, friends. It's me again, Sheriff Labrador, and my best partner, Sheriff Dobie. Today, we decided to dive into the most unexpected Roblox mode. Escape from Barbie and Ken's prison. Yes, you heard that right. Here, Barbie and Ken are not just cute toys, they're tough prison guards. Our task is to escape from their stylish but very dangerous prison. Dobie, are you ready?
Hey guys, yeah, I'm ready, but this sounds wild. Imagine this. Barbie with a walkie-talkie and a baton patrolling the hallways, and Ken managing the security cameras. Things aren't as simple as they seem. They're going to try and stop us, and they've got not just fashionable outfits, but plenty of traps. What do you think, guys? Will we manage to escape? Let us know in the comments.
I agree, it sounds strange but interesting. In Barbie and Ken's prison, everything is so perfect that around every corner are pink lasers, surveillance cameras, and other surprises. Our first goal is to find the keys to the gates. We have to be very careful because Barbie and Ken could appear at any moment. Dobie, do you have a plan?
Of course I do. First, we need to disable the cameras that track our every move. Ken loves his technology, but we'll outsmart it. I heard there's a tablet hidden somewhere in this prison that can hack the system. Once we find it, the doors to freedom will open. Are you with me?
Absolutely. And don't forget, friends, to like and comment if you want to see more of our adventures in Roblox. Now let's start our operation. Let's head down the right corridor and try to find that tablet. The main thing is not to get caught by Barbie. She's super fast.
Exactly. And remember, if Barbie or Ken catches us, they'll make us put those pink prison outfits back on. Let's escape together and prove that no guards can stop us. Let us know in the comments how you'd try to escape if you were in this prison. And now, let the escape begin.
Dobie, you won't believe it, but I still can't process what happened recently. We were just wandering around the house when suddenly, a door to some strange room opened by itself. Do you remember how everything around us suddenly turned pink? At first, I thought I was hallucinating, but then it was like we were pulled into that glow. And the next thing we knew, we were standing in a completely different world.
Of course I remember. The whole world was pink and sparkling, like we had stepped into a giant dream house. At first, I didn't understand where we were, but then I saw the dolls, Barbies. They looked like they had just come off the store shelves. We were standing among them, and every doll was perfect. I thought it had to be a dream because, well, we're dogs.
Yeah, it was totally unreal. Everywhere you looked, there were pink cars, glittering houses, and even little puppies wearing the cutest costumes. I even doubted if we belonged in a place like that, but then Barbie came up to us and said, "Hi, welcome to Barbie Land." Her smile was so bright I almost had to shield my eyes with my paw. Yeah, and after that she showed us around this incredible place. There was an entire amusement park where we could ride pink carousels and even mini trains. At first I couldn't believe it was real until I tried it myself. We went on the carousel, and I remember you laughing as the wind ruffled your ears.
It was pure magic. And how about when we went inside Barbie's dream house? All those mirrored walls and pink sofas. Do you remember how Barbie offered us to try on her outfits? You were so surprised at first, but then we tried on a couple of costumes. That sparkly jacket looked great on you.
Oh yeah, I thought it would be silly at first, but then I really got into it. Turns out, sparkles really suit me. And you looked fantastic in those pink sunglasses and the cap. Barbie laughed and said we fit right into her style. Then she showed us her car collection. Those pink convertibles, Dobie, I would drive one of those every day.
Of course you would. We even got to ride in one of her convertibles. You were driving, and I was in the front seat with the wind whistling in my ears, and we zoomed down the pink streets. It felt like a ride through some perfect world. All the Barbies waved at us and smiled. Did you see how happy everyone was?
Definitely. Smiles were everywhere, and we felt like real stars. And when we got back to the dream house, Barbie said that time works differently in Barbie Land. She told us we could stay as long as we wanted and try everything the place had to offer. Of course, I asked her about the dog training ground.
Exactly. And when she showed us that training ground, it was something else. There were pink tunnels to run through and shiny hurdles to jump over. I gave it a try and jumped so high, I almost landed on the other side of the field. Barbie was impressed. She said we were the most athletic dogs she had ever seen.
You were amazing, Dobie. And then she offered for us to participate in the dog games that they host every week. All the puppies and dogs of Barbie Land gathered together to compete in speed, agility, and obedience. Of course, we couldn't say no. Do you remember how we won the race? We outran all the puppies and won the pink medal.
That was my proudest moment. We ran so fast that even the wind couldn't catch us. I was so happy when we crossed the finish line first. And then Barbie gave us medals, and everyone applauded. I felt like a true champion. And you know what, Labrador? I realized that Barbie Land isn't just about pink and glamour. It's a place where we could be ourselves and enjoy life.
Dobie, do you remember when we recently decided to make clones of ourselves? It seemed like a great idea. We always try to help as many dogs and people as possible. But sometimes there are just too many tasks, and we can't be everywhere at once. After one of our rescue adventures, I thought, what if we created clones that could handle all the tasks for us? Then we could help twice as much.
Of course I remember. The idea sounded brilliant. We could be in multiple places at once, saving everyone in need, and no mission would go unnoticed. I remember we decided to visit the professor in the neighboring town, the one who works with future technologies. He said he could clone us, but warned that the process was very complex. Naturally, we didn't pay much attention to that warning. What could go wrong, right?
Yeah, we thought it would just be a formality. The professor hooked us up to these strange machines that started blinking and making weird sounds. At one point, I felt like something was off, but I didn't think much of it. When everything was done, our clones appeared in front of us. They looked just like us. Every hair in place, ears, eyes, everything was identical.
You're right, Labrador. The clones looked exactly like us. I couldn't even tell which one was the real me. At first, we were thrilled and began teaching them our tasks. How to rescue puppies, where to find lost toys, how to run faster than the wind to keep up with all the duties. But then, trouble started. Our clones began behaving strangely. They weren't just copying our actions, they were doing so way too literally.
Exactly. They were overly enthusiastic. Do you remember when we asked them to help with a simple walk? The clones decided that helping meant sprinting at full speed, not stopping for a single moment. One of them started rescuing birds that were peacefully sitting on tree branches, even though they didn't need any help. I tried explaining to them that help is only needed when it's truly necessary, but the clones took everything literally.
Yeah, and remember when they tried to rescue every car driving by? They would jump in front of the vehicles trying to stop them, even though the drivers were just going about their day. It caused chaos on the road. The drivers had no idea what was happening, and we were trying to explain to the clones that cars don't need saving.
And that was just the beginning. The clones started performing every task with extreme zeal. If someone dropped a ball, they'd pick it up immediately and try to return it to the person so fast that they wouldn't even notice. In the end, the clones were just getting in everyone's way. I remember one of them tried to rescue our friend who was just sitting on a bench, thinking he was tired and needed help.
That's when I realized we needed to do something. We decided to talk to the clones and explain that they should only help when it's really needed. But it turned out they couldn't distinguish between ordinary situations and emergencies. They thought every action was a signal for immediate help, even if it was just a kitten playing with a ball of yarn.
I remember telling one clone, "Please don't touch that ball, it's already with its owner." But instead of stopping, it sped up, trying to return the ball to the owner even though they were already holding it. That's when we realized we had to go back to the professor.
When we returned to the professor and told him about all the problems, he just sighed and said, "I warned you, the clones might not fully understand context." He suggested we deactivate them, but we wanted to give it one more try and teach them the right way to perceive situations. We spent hours explaining the basics of helping etiquette to the clones. But you know what, Labrador? In the end, they still took everything way too literally.
You're right, Dobie. When they tried to rescue a falling leaf, I knew we'd have to say goodbye to our clones. It wasn't easy because we had hoped they would help us do more good. But sometimes even the best ideas don't go as planned. We deactivated the clones, and the professor said that maybe someday the technology would improve.
But despite everything, it was an important adventure. We learned that there are no shortcuts when it comes to rescuing and helping others. Our work shouldn't be passed off to someone else, even if they're our clones. Each situation is unique, and no machine can replace our intuition and hearts.
Here we are. We've defeated the Barbie and Ken boss. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.